everybody. How are you doing?
I want to welcome my good friend, Congressman Paul Ryan to Arkansas. It's good to have him here. I served with him a short time in Congress, but we all followed him as vice presidential candidate to represent our party well. Really proud to bring him to Benton, Saline County, which is a key area for the campaign. It's a growing area, close to Little Rock, but we want to really turn out the vote here. And so glad to have Congressman Paul Ryan here for our rally today. I really appreciate the work he's particularly done in the anti-poverty area, leading really a national reevaluation of how we deliver our welfare programs, our anti-poverty programs, and how we're doing some things wrong in government, how we can do things better. So I want to welcome Congressman Paul Ryan and let you make comments.
Thanks, Asa. Appreciate it. Well, thanks everybody for welcoming me here. It's a lot warmer than it is in Wisconsin, I can tell you that. We're pushing fall weather. Asa Hutchinson and I have known each other a long time. And the reason why I'm delighted to be here to endorse Asa, to be with Asa, to campaign with Asa, is because he's a doer. He's a person that knows how to take principles and put them into action and get things done. That's why I've admired Asa from afar and from up close. Asa talked about our work on poverty. If you take a look at what has happened over the last number of decades, we just came up with some metrics where we're trying to figure out, are we moving the needle or not? We've had a 50-year war on poverty. We've spent trillions of dollars through the federal government to try and fight poverty, and where are we? We've got the highest poverty rate in a generation. We've got over 45 million people living in poverty today. And at a time when we have 92 different programs coming through the federal government spending $800 billion a year, we need to ask ourselves whether or not we can do better. And the clear answer is yes. And when we looked at how can we do a better job of fighting poverty, we want to get the government to focus on outcomes instead of inputs. So much of the success or lack thereof is measured based upon whether or not we have programs. How much money are we spending? How many people are we putting on programs? Versus measuring success based upon whether we're getting people out of poverty or not. Whether we're reigniting the American dream. Getting people on the first rung of the ladder of upward mobility. And what we have learned and discerned in trying to look at how to do a better job is we need to listen to the local poverty fighters on the streets in the communities. We need to partner with our leaders in the states who can better customize programs to help people in need, to get them from where they are to where they want to be. And one of the reasons why I'm so delighted to be here for Asa Hutchinson is that he's the perfect kind of partner that we need to better fight poverty. To have outcome-based approach so we can focus on results, so that we can give the hardworking taxpayers of Arkansas and all across the country more value for their money, so that we know, so that they know that we are putting their money to work to actually helping people get out of poverty, get onto a life of self-sufficiency. The other important part is Washington doesn't have all the answers. Washington messes a lot of things up. Washington is taking a lot of money from taxpayers, then borrowing from the next generation and not fixing problems. We need governors to be on the front edge and the cutting edge of innovation and fixing problems and making sure that solutions are customized to the people right here in Arkansas. And that is why it's exciting to be here for Asa Hutchinson. Asa is a proven commodity. He's a man of principle. He's a man who stands up for what he believes in. But more importantly, he's a man of know-how and knows how to get things done. And that's the kind of can-do people we need to be our governors. I'm familiar with his opponent. I served with him for many years in Congress. He helped give Nancy Pelosi the gavel. He helped make sure that Obamacare is the law of the land. I don't think that's the kind of person we want running our state governments. We want problem solvers like Asa Hutchinson, and that's why I'm happy to be here to support him.
How long have you known Asa?
Since 1996, I'd say, something like that. Probably, I think I've known Asa for about 16 years.
Okay.
What about, you talk about addressing poverty and Asa being a partner on that. I guess, is there anything specifically about his proposals you think it does that?
Yeah, what we'd like to do is, we've taken a look at all the various federal proposals. They have lots of strings. They tell states exactly how to implement programs, and they displace local control, and they displace the ability for local communities to customize support to people in need. What we want to do at the federal level is collapse some of these funding streams into block grants so that the states can take the ball from there, make sure that it goes to those in need, make sure that we help get people who are able to work, make sure that we measure success, but give our governors the ability to customize programs to actually help the people in need. So what we are envisioning at the federal level is giving more control to the states so that they can customize federal resources to make a better difference. The point the federal government can do is provide resources. In many places, the federal government has put too many regulations and strings, and actually we have a thing we call the poverty trap, where you add all these federal programs on top of each other, and what they end up doing is they disincentivize work. They make it harder for a person to take the next step to get a job because they lose more money in benefits than they get in gaining an income, and we've got to deal with that. We don't want to disincentivize work, we always want to encourage work. And so what we want to do is give more flexibility to the states so they can focus on getting people from welfare to work. And that's where a person like Asa Hutchinson can be a perfect partner in breaking this cycle of dependency, this cycle of poverty that is plaguing millions of people in America.
I guess among his proposals, is there anything specifically you think would help?
Well, I've looked at his
address that?
6-point plan. I think it's fantastic. I think you need a combination of faster economic growth, better education, good schools. He's clearly addressing that. And what the federal government ought to do is give them flexibility and resources to better attack that plan.
How closely is Washington watching some of these local races? I mean, you were talking about the war on poverty and how important it is at the state level, but how closely are you all watching this, and how important is Asa?
We watch it because we want to respect states' rights. We think the federal government has taken on too much. And the problem with a very big federal government is that it doesn't do anything very well. We want the federal government to be limited so that it can be effective in what it does. And we want to pass the ball onto our leaders of the states so they can do a better job of customizing aid to people who need it, customizing education reform, poverty fighting, and things like that. So we see this as a partnership that needs to occur because I think most Americans agree the country's on the wrong track. Millions of people are in poverty. The economy's not hitting near its potential. And so we want to forge a better partnership with our state leaders to make sure we can deliver on the kinds of reforms that hard-working taxpayers deserve.
And governors are anxious to take on that responsibility. One of the things that excites me about being governor is the opportunity to shape solutions that are unique to our state. And if we can have a federal government partner that recognizes the role of the states in innovation, in the delivery of programs, that their hands-on approach and their creativity and their accountability will help in that partnership. And that's what one of the things my campaign's about, but it's also what I think governors across the South are really talking about, across our country, particularly Republican governors, about taking that mantle of responsibility, that partnership, and using it as a basis for innovation and more efficiently delivering programs and services to the people of the state.
I've seen a lot of national Republican leaders come in campaigning for Hutchinson's campaign, Governor Christie, Governor Romney, and now yourself. We haven't really seen that with your Democratic opponent, with Democratic national leaders. Why do you think that is?
I'd ask the Democrats that question. I can tell you why we are coming, because we know this man. We know he is what he says he is. We know that he's a person of conviction and a person of talent. And we know that Asa Hutchinson delivers. That's why we're here. You know, there are beaters and doers in politics. He's a doer. Because Asa Hutchinson is the kind of guy where we've seen him in action, where he delivers on what is right, where he delivers on what he says he's going to do. And that's why when you see a great leader like that running for office, you come and support him. I can't speak for why the Democrats don't come and support Mike Ross.
Are you doing any other fundraisers while you're in Arkansas?
Tomorrow morning I'm going to do an event with French Hill and Bruce Westerman.
The state Democratic Party had put out a release,
Let me guess, it wasn't positive.
Yeah, it was not. Criticizing your visit, describing both of y'all as supporters of privatizing Social Security. Want to give both y'all a chance to respond?
Sure, yeah, I don't support privatizing Social Security. Privatizing Social Security is giving people their FICA taxes and letting them go on their own. I've supported reforms that give younger workers a voluntary option of having some of their money go into the thrift savings plan like all members of Congress and federal employees have, managed by Social Security as an option for younger people. Every budget or plan I've ever supported guarantees Social Security is there, as it is right now, for everybody who is in or near retirement. The problem is it's going bankrupt in 2034, and we've got to do something about that. Otherwise, we're going to have a huge across-the-board cut in benefits if we don't shore up the Social Security Trust Fund. So doing nothing for Social Security is being complicit with its bankruptcy and a benefit cut to everybody. So the sooner we can shore it up, the better off we are. And every single plan that we've ever supported guarantees that all benefits are there for everybody who is currently on the program or anywhere near retirement.